Reminder, your big next test is going to be 422, the STAAR test. Yeah, that's the big thing we're focusing on. You should get a lot of the same stuff we've covered before. We're reinforcing things, making sure we know what to do. So part of that today is our warm-up. So you wrote STAAR for your normal warm-up, but then you're getting into these little warm-ups. So here's your first one. Everyone answered this one already, right? So I'm going to show you two ways to do this. There's the old-fashioned math way, meaning combining like terms. And if you would like, I would write that at the top here. The big point of this is, can you combine like terms, right? Well, let's think about how we combine like terms on this one. We have two expressions being added. The first term is 5RT, so I look for another RT, and it's plus 6RT. What's 5 plus 6? 11 RT. So all these answer choices have 11 RT. So far, so good. Notice this next term, RW, has negative 3. And then the other RW has negative 4. So what's negative 3 minus 4? It's not 1. It's not negative 1. I highly suggest, if you don't know how to do this, use your tool here. Negative 3 minus 4 is negative 7, right? So minus 7 RW, which eliminates this one and this one. Last terms are negative 8 TW, positive 2 TW. What's negative 8 plus 2? If you don't know, use Desmos. Negative 6 TW are the variables. The answer has to be B. Did you get B? Give me a thumbs up if you got B. All right, if you didn't, now, there's a way to do this in Desmos. We've done it this year. Did you remember how to do this in Desmos? Because there's no equal sign, so it's not the squiggle end thing, like yesterday's warm-up. There's a key word here. Everybody underline this word, equivalent. There was some assignments we've done when it's equivalent. So let me show you how to do this. Okay, when there's a bunch of different letters that says equivalent, what you do is you type it in. Okay, just move this around. Okay, there we go. So we go and we do parentheses 5RT minus 3RW minus 8TW plus 6RT minus RW plus 2TW. Okay, so look, if I type it in, okay, nothing. But do you remember this step? Is everyone locked in? Look over here. Hey. When you put in an expression, you want to let each letter equal something, right? So R, we're going to set it equal to 2. I hope this rings a bell from when we've done this before. I'm going to set T equal to a different number, 3. I'm going to set W equal to another number. I'm going to go to 5. I'm going to skip 4 because that's not prime. Okay, so 2, 3, 5. Now, when I do that, do y'all see up here that I get negative 64 as my value? Here's the trick. When you type in your answer choices into Desmos, one of them is going to equal also negative 64. Let's do the answer I got, 11 RT minus 7 RW minus 6 TW. Did I type something wrong? Probably. Hold on one second. What did I type wrong? I typed that wrong. Okay, there you go. So also, you should type things in perfectly right, so double check yourself so you don't wreck yourself like me. But do you see how the original should have given you negative 94 and the answer choice B gives you negative 94 when you assign numbers? Now, if you assign different numbers, you might get a different answer, but the point is, does it match one of the answer choices? It'll always be B if you type it incorrectly, not the way I did to begin with. Do you see how to do this? Equivalent without an equal sign, type it in, assign values, type in the answers, one of them will match. Cool? And similarly on the second one, okay, now I'll do this the old-fashioned way. A triangle has sides whose lengths and units are represented by polynomials as shown, where x is a positive integer. Which expression represents the perimeter of the triangle? Now I know this is not a geometry class, but you should have learned perimeter maybe in middle school. If I have a shape, what's the perimeter? What do I do with all the sides? Add. Does everyone know this? Perimeter is adding all the sides. Perimeter is adding all the sides. So guess what I'm going to do with all those sides? Add them up. Or like I wrote at the top of this page, combine like terms. Okay, this plus this plus this. Okay, I'm going to add all three of those things up. Now, when I have fractions, by the way, clear this out. Start over here. When I have fractions, let's use Desmos, make life easier. Let's add up all these x's first. 3 over 2, 2, and 3. 3 over 2. Three over 2 plus 2 plus 3 gives me 6.5. Click this fraction circle right here, and I get 13 over 2. My answer is going to be 13 over 2 x, which eliminates a and b. And now I'm going to add up all of these constants. 5 over 6, 1 over 3, minus 1 over 6. 5 over 6, plus 1 over 3, minus 1 over 6. That gives me 1. Positive 1 means plus 1. My answer has to be C. Give me a thumbs up if you got C for the second one. Cool. If you did, that's what I like to see. Now, here's the deal. You could have done this the way I did it earlier, right? You could have done 3 over 2, and instead of x, I'm going to use some other letter. Let's pick A, okay? 3 over 2a plus 5 over 6 plus 2a plus 1 over 3 plus 3a minus 1 over 6. If you add up all of them in Desmos, do not use x. X will not work. But if I use a, and then I set a equal to some number, and then I type in that answer choice that I think is the answer, 13 over 2, I got to use a plus 1. Do you see how I get the same value? Add them up, don't use x, assign a value, type in your answer choices, one of them will match. You got to remember how to do evaluating, okay? And in this case, finding perimeter, combining like terms, is evaluating. Now, here's the deal. Each day we're going to be doing one new thing, day by day, and today we're doing solving linear equations. Do y'all remember yesterday's warm-up, where you typed in the equation without x, and you used the squiggle? Isn't that pretty easy to do? Okay, that is what I would highly suggest that you use to get the answer. If nothing else, that is how you're going to check your work if you solve it by hand. But I'm going to remind you how to solve it by hand, but I got to have focus. Let's all use these. Now, this is weird. Look at this. All this has is a bunch of blank, okay? Where are the questions, Mr. G? Well, the questions are class set. Look at what I'm holding. This is a class set. You don't write on it because it's not, it's not even laminated. It's a different color, so you're not going to put it in your bag or your binder or folder, right? So again, these stay here, and you put the work on the paper, okay? So we pass these out. Okie dokie. Now, let's see what we can do here. All right, so problem number one. Look at your beige laminated paper, right? Do y'all see number one says, and I guess I have it right here, right? Number one says, which value of x makes the equation true? So whenever I see an equation with one variable, I can either solve it by hand algebraically, step by step, or I can use what we learned yesterday, talked about yesterday with Desmos, right? Okay. Please use Desmos at least to check your work, at least, okay? So what I'm doing right now is I'm going to show you how to do it by hand, but you should use Desmos to check your work, okay? So number one, let's write down the equation. What is it? 13.75 equals 2.5, 3x minus 5. So here's my original equation for number one. Step one, we're going to distribute 2.5 into the parentheses. What is 2.5 times 3? Well, we get 13.7. Sorry, we get 7.5 x. What's 2.5 times 5? Negative 5 is negative 12.5. Bring down 13.75. Now, if x was on the left, okay, we would do this, but we're going to add or subtract to move the constant. So if x is here, on this same side, the constant, I call it the loner, is negative 12.5. What's the opposite of negative 12.5? Positive or plus 12.5. 13.75 plus 12.5 is 26.25. My last step is to divide by the coefficient. The number in front of x is 7.5. Divide by 7.5, and I get 3.5 equals x. Cool. Now, that's how you do it by hand. Do y'all like doing all these steps? Maybe you do, maybe you don't. But either way, I've said it, and I'm going to say it again. Check yourself with Desmos. So how do I do that, Mr. G? Well, I type it in, 13.75 equals 2.5 parentheses 3x minus 5. Okay. Now, if you type it in the exact way you see it, it's not going to work. What two things do I need to change? Yes. Okay. So x cannot be x when you're trying to solve an equation with an equal sign, right? So x must be some other letter. I like to use n. You could use a, whatever, okay? And then it doesn't work. Well, I got to have that equal sign be a tilde, a squiggle, okay? Please remember this. Like, you got to just remember this. Equation is the squiggle n, okay? N instead of x, squiggle instead of equals. What's my answer? It's in parameters. It's 3.5. What did I get over here? 3.5. Which would you rather do? Okay, at least check your work with Desmos, okay? Let's be sure about ourselves. We don't want to make one little mistake and miss the STAAR by one question and then have to retake it, okay? Let's mitigate disaster. So here's the deal. You're going to do 2, 3, and 4. You're going to write down these formulas, 2, 3, and 4 on that same paper. And then the last 10 minutes of class, we're going to do a exit ticket on Go Formative. But it's going to be all like this. So you make the decision. Am I going to do this by hand each time or use Desmos? Okay. If you get stuck, let me know. I'll help you out. Here we go.